So first we will start with the Spark SQL. Okay, Spark SQL. So what is the Spark SQL, right? Other concept, Databricks architecture, Databricks one we will see in detail later. But today also we'll see the data types and how to handle this. So how the JSON file, unstructured file, all this will get stored in Databricks. Not stored, how to process it, right? So Spark SQL, it's nothing but SQL within this Spark engine. Okay, so on top of the Spark, Apache Spark, right? So we have the Apache Spark here. Okay, this is Apache Spark. It's a processing engine. So that's what they created. So Apache Spark for processing it. So first they have created with the Python code and everything. They need to process the all the data. This is nothing but Apache Spark. It's a processing engine. On top of this, we have the Spark SQL. This is nothing but Spark SQL we have. So on top of this one, we have the Spark SQL. So on top of this one, we have Spark SQL. It's a SQL engine, a Spark SQL. So whatever we are going to run SQL engine, so whatever we are going to run our SQL on top of this Databricks environment, this Spark SQL only is going to run it, process the huge volume of data, it will run it. So it's like a clusters compute, right? So it's nothing but one single, we are not going to run with one single computing. It will be like a clusters, multiple compute engine will be there. It will be running in parallel. So that's the reason it can handle even in terabyte of data. Okay, so in one single table, if you want to run it, yes, it can process it. So process meaning like running aggregations if you want to perform joins. So all this kind of ETL logic, ELT logic, what we are going to perform on data, so that it can perform. So this is nothing but Spark engine. Okay, so Spark SQL. So on top of the Spark SQL, we will have it. Spark SQL in Databricks is the SQL processing engine. Okay, it's nothing but it's a SQL processing engine and SQL processing engine built on top of Apache Spark. So that allows you to query it. Okay, so do the query, transform. We can apply the ELT logic and analyze large volume of data using standard SQL syntax. So 95 percentage. So if you are from any one of the SQLs, right, Oracle SQL or Teradata SQL, or if you are from Snowflake SQL or any SQL, you are from any database, SQL server, like if you are from SQL server database, yes, if you know that SQL very well, this the Spark SQL also 95% very similar. Only thing is that 5% is different because it can handle structured, semi-structured and unstructured data. To handle that, little bit it will change. So that we have to learn. So in Databricks, Spark SQL enables data engineers, analysts, and data scientists to work with structured, semi-structured data without writing complex Spark code. Okay, so please remember the Spark SQL can be used for structured and semi-structured data. Okay, structured and semi-structured data, we can handle it by using Spark SQL. So what about unstructured data? Unstructured data, we will process it. So it's just a audio file, video file, image file, PDF file, some these kind of files, right? So we are not going to store it in a table. Just we'll put it in the volume. So from the volume, we'll process it. So that is nothing but we can handle by using PySpark code. But here, if you want to process structured, semi-structured data, structured meaning mostly like a CSV file. So what we are getting, TXT file. So it's like a structured way of data we are getting it, relational format. Semi-structured meaning we'll be getting data as a JSON file, XML file, right? So all this Parquet file, different format we are getting it. So that file, so how to process it? So without writing complex Spark code, we are not going to write any PySpark code here. We can use simply SQL itself to process the data. So that's what we are going to see here. For this Spark SQL, we can use two different data types. We'll see this data types in detail. So last week we have seen only three data types: integer data types, string data type, and date data type, right? But here we will see that other data types. It's nothing but we have primitive data type to handle structured data, complex data types. It's a semi-structured data. So we'll say it's a complex data type. So what are the primitive data types are available? So these are primitive data types. String, we can handle it. First one, string. So for any characters, it can handle by using string. An integer, we can handle the whole number. So big integer to handle the big numbers of whole numbers. Float, double, decimal. So all these three can handle this decimal value. So we can go to this decimal here instead of double and all, because there we can specify the precision and scale. Exactly, we can define this one. So if you want to use it, decimal, we can go. Boolean data type, so true or false. And date data type. So this is a date data type. We can use it. We have seen already. So Boolean we haven't seen last time. Boolean is to define true or false. Like this, or we can go for string itself. We can use yes or no. Or integer we can put 1 or 0. Something like okay, version flag 1 or 0. Or string we can use version like yes or no. So that way version control, right? So we can use it this way. Date. So what is the default date format in Databricks? Spark SQL. This is the default date of the format, date format. Please remember YYYY 4Y hyphen MM hyphen DD. Okay, this is the format here. Date format. Timestamp. So we can see the timestamp here. So similar way. So YYY MMDD. So hours, minutes, seconds. So this way we'll have it. So this is like nothing but primitive data types to handle structured data. Okay, so we can handle by using these data types. If we are using any complex data types, for example, we want to use it like a semi-structured data, like a JSON file or any other file, XML file, Avro file, Parquet files data, then we have to use these data types. So what are those data types? We have 4 different data types are there. So if we are handling only structured data, yes, those data types are more than enough, what we have seen. But in our project, we are going to see that semi-structured data also we are going to handle. So we'll handle it by using these 4 data types. So what is that? Array data type. Array data type is nothing but collection of more values. Okay, for example, one customer is having multiple phone numbers. So we can, all the phone numbers, we can put it in one single array itself, array of values. So that we can put. Map is nothing but key value pair. So map, okay, phone number, this is my phone number. Address, this is my address. This way I can map it. Key value pair, we can map it. And structured is nothing but, okay, so nested column in the same nested values we can put, okay, instead of creating multiple columns, nested columns, I can put it in single column values. That is nothing but struct. And then variant. So variant is nothing but in one single column itself, we can store the data like JSON files. Okay, so entire JSON, we can store it in one column value, right? So that is nothing but variant. Okay, so these are the 4 different data types are available. So what are 4 different data types are there to handle semi-structured data? Array, map, struct, and then variant. So variant will handle the entire JSON data type inside one column value. So these are the 4 data types are available. So please remember. So what are those 4? Because this one you might be already working on it. You know string, you know integer and decimal, boolean, date, timestamp, all this. But this one maybe it's new to you. So what are those 4 data types? Array, map, struct, variant. And then unstructured data. So unstructured, see standard structured data will go with tables, CSV, or any RDBMS data will take. So that is nothing but we can handle integer, string, date. This maximum, these 3 data types are frequently used. And to handle JSON file, XML file, Parquet file, Avro file, ORC file, different file system we have. So those files, to handle it, we will use this one. And then we can flatten the tables, data. We can store it in a table also after flattening it. So first we have to take these data types. We have to handle it. After that, we can, whatever the data we need, that we can extract from the source system, what format they have given. From that we can extract and then we can store. So we will see that practically. And here unstructured, so we can do it in images, PDF, audio, video, documents, everything. So that's whatever the social media content what we are getting. So mostly these type only, right? Unstructured images, PDFs, audio file, video file, documents, and everything. To handle it, we'll use binary files. So binary format. And if it is an AI one, so we'll use AI functions to handle. For example, if we have Facebook or this Facebook, even Instagram or WhatsApp or YouTube or anything. So whatever the videos we are seeing it, so based on our country, based on our interest, based on our language, the the gender and everything, they will suggest the next videos, right? So how quickly they are giving all this information to you. It's nothing but backend. So whatever we are saying, all this information they will collect side by side, and then they will process it, and then again they are feeding back to us. Okay, these kind of feeds they will give it to us. So that's what data processing, right? Fast way we have to do. So that will have both structured, semi-structured, unstructured also. Okay, so to handle it, and then the better for better user experience they will do. So that is what the fast they will do. Like they need to process the data, right? So these are the data types. We'll see that one by one. Okay, I got one question. So what is the difference between AWS and Azure Databricks? Can you explain? So the platform, okay, the only thing is underlying platform where you are going to store your data. See, Spark is nothing but just this Databricks just it will process the data. It will not store any data except metadata. Okay, so please remember. So whether Databricks is going to store any our business data? No. Business data, Databricks cannot store. Then which data Databricks can store? Metadata. Okay, whatever it is processing, it will store it here. And on top of it, for example, in our real-time project, so Databricks we are using for processing the data, but we are using Azure ecosystem. For example, ADF we are using, right? ADF we are using to bring the data to our ADLS. So process the data. So we are bringing it ADF something. Okay, forklifting the data from source system, we have to connect and bring the data. So first of all, we have to bring the data to Databricks to process it. So how we will bring it? Do we have any separate connector? No, in Databricks we don't have any separate connector. If you so we might have in real-time project we might have lot of different APIs we'll have, and RDBMS will have, and cloud platforms will have, applications will have third-party applications, and they'll be placing the files. All this we have to bring it to first Databricks, right? So Databricks meaning the underlying volume we have to bring it, this data lake environment. So how we are going to bring it? So how we are going to say any other small process and all we'll do. So for that we need some ecosystem. So some project they'll use Azure platform, some project they'll use AWS platform, some project they'll use GCP, Google Cloud Platform. So most of them, if they are using Microsoft product, so they'll go for Azure platform. So here itself, they'll create all the resources. In the Azure itself, in this workspace, okay, they'll go for container, they'll go for this Databricks environment. And if you want to create any other resources, you can create here itself. So any resources you want to create, for example, I'll go here. So I'll put some resources here. So whatever I want, I can create here itself. Okay, I want to create Linux environment in my Azure. Yes, I can create Linux. All this virtual machine, I want to create storage account. All this I can. So create here itself. Different services I can create here. So machine learning, analytics, blockchain, AI apps, agents. This is nothing but agents and all we are creating on top of Microsoft. So agent bot we can create, OpenAI we can create. So a lot of agents we can create here. So this is on top of Azure platform. So if our company has, so even you can see Microsoft has tie up with cloud, right? So nowadays we have it in our Azure. If we are started using, we have to subscribe it. So from our subscription, they will charge it. But the thing is, yes, we can make use of this one. We can use it. This is nothing but Azure services, right? So like this, we have one services called data analytics. Okay, analytics side we are going with. We might be having, see, data analytics, we are having Databricks. It's a Azure Databricks service. So we can create it, or we can go for this one, Data Factory or Fabric, like multiple different services. Whatever we need, we can create here. Okay, I need to process the data. I need to bring the data to Databricks. I can create a data factory immediately. So I can bring it, right. I need SQL warehouse. Yes, I can go for SQL warehouse also. So warehouses will be there. So we can bring it. Okay, I need something like for migration. We want to do some migration, all this. So we can do, okay, DevOps we need. So this is nothing but Azure DevOps. We have to use some containerization, DevOps pipeline. We have to create it. All this we can create here. So developer tools, databases, we have SQL database, Azure SQL. So like this, we have different SQL we'll be having. These are some different services we'll have in our Azure. So one of the services is called Databricks. On top of Azure, the Databricks has created their service is called Azure Databricks. Okay, if we are creating on top of AWS, that is called AWS. It means in our project we are using AWS ecosystem, right? Mostly like AWS we are using for other purpose, not only for data processing, for A&ML, IoT, and all this media migration, all this we can use it, right? It's not only data engineering or AI project. Lot of other projects also will be there, right, in real-time project. So DevOps we have to do, IoT we have to do, data integration we have to do. So identity and the entire complete governance, data governance, everything we have to handle it. So different services will be there. This is what complete Azure data engineering service. But here Azure Databricks to only we are using Databricks service to process the data. So how to process huge volume of data. So that's what we are going to learn. So I hope you are clear.